have with us an aspirant who persevered through the rigor of his job and went on to bell the cat in his third attempt with a stellar score of 99.96 percentile. I'd like to welcome Kislay Jha with us. Hi Kislay.
Hi Praneet.
Can you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi guys. Hi everyone. My name is Kislay Jha, and I currently work in Tata Steel. I live in Jamshedpur, though I originally belong to Ranchi. I did my engineering from BIT Mesra in chemical, and that's how I got into Tata Steel also. And this was my third attempt at CAT. My first attempt was in CAT 2017. I took CAT in my fourth year, though I was not very serious about it, hence I did not even get a very good percentile. My second attempt was last year. I prepared for a couple of months. Obviously, it was not very much up to the mark. I got 98.47, and I still felt I could have done better. So this year I started preparing for CAT very early. I started my preparations in the month of May itself, and thankfully I've got a good score now. So looking forward for the interview rounds now.
That's great. Could you please tell us your scores?
So my CAT 2019 percentile, overall percentile is 99.96. In VARC, my percentile is 99.39. In LRDI, I got the highest, it is 99.90. And in QA, my percentile is 99.81.
So Kislay, you know that CAT is notorious for its unpredictability, right? How would you justify preparing for something that's probably not a definite sure shot while you have something lucrative at Tata Steel?
So I don't look at CAT that way actually. For me, CAT is just a medium to get into an MBA college, right? So my aim is getting an MBA degree from a reputed college and to earn that perspective in the corporate world. So that was my aim right from the beginning, to increase my skill set and increase my knowledge base, which is what an MBA college, which is what I am expecting an MBA college to give me. So CAT is just the way I get there. So my job was not very rigorous at times, since my office starts at 9 a.m. it ends at 6:30. So every day I got a couple of hours to study, and so it became a little bit easier for me to, even though I had a job and I didn't get maybe the best possible environment for preparation, but I still had a good enough time every day to prepare for CAT, and that's how it worked out for me.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit in detail about your preparation? What was your strategy for each of the sections?
Okay, so my preparation actually began very seriously when I attempted CAT 2018. So my first step of my preparation was clearing out my basics. Since I always had a reading habit from my childhood, I have read a lot of novels and stuff. So reading comprehension became slightly easier for me in that respect. So VARC, I believe, did not pose much of a challenge for me because I could get on with it like from the starting itself. The VA section of VRC though requires a lot of practice, because in that the para jumbles and the odd one out and the summary questions. So the more you start reading and the more you start practicing these questions, I felt this a lot, that I used to do a lot of mistakes in these questions early on. Like there are 10 VA questions in every VRC section, and out of those 10, in the earlier stages I used to get 2 right, 3 right, so which is not very amazing for a CAT aspirant if he's aiming to score high in CAT. But eventually with practice I got better at it. I started making, like, para jumbles used to pose a huge challenge for me. I always got every para jumble wrong, which was not the ideal way you want to begin your preparation. But thankfully with practice I got better at it. And after VARC, so VARC was fine like that. After VARC, if you come to LRDI, now LRDI is something I was always a bit maybe overconfident about, that no, I'm good at this section, I can connect the dots very quickly and I can do very well in it. So I only used to give sectionals and mocks for LRDI. Earlier I used to score very good in it in my previous mocks and everything, but suddenly my score started dipping a lot during my preparation phase, and I think everyone experienced this phase where they score high, then they score low, and it keeps going up and down. And LRDI, especially for me, suddenly from my strong point became a weak point for me in all my mocks. I started scoring maybe from 50 plus in all mocks to somewhere between 20 and 30 in many mocks. So the thing about these sections are that, first of all, whenever you are giving mocks for these sections, I started analyzing them more. Started scrutinizing them more minutely. That why am I going wrong? The same questions when I attempted in my mocks, I did them wrong, and if I attempted them outside my mocks, I would do them correctly. So I realized that I was doing wrong because maybe I was not approaching my mocks in a correct phase of my mind. In my mocks, so sometimes I scored high in LRDI, sometimes I didn't. So I realized that it's more about the phase of mind I am in and not my knowledge base. So eventually you get out of that phase of mind. It happens. You go up, you go down, and finally my LRDI scores again got better. My CAT day was amazing in LRDI. I myself was not expecting it to be that good, but I think it just clicked that day. So I did LRDI like that. And if you come to QA, so being an engineer, it is always expected that your QA will already be amazing. My QA was fine, but if you compare it to an engineer level, I knew that I was lacking somewhere. So I focused a lot on QA. I practiced a lot of questions. I joined online forums like iQuanta and all, and there it really helped me to get in my groove. To even though I knew the answers, I was not able to get them. I was not able to get to the answers in, let us say, 120 seconds or 130 seconds, which should be your average time for a medium level question in CAT. So it took some time. I used to practice questions mostly from sectionals and mocks only, and then the analysis part of that. And I didn't solve many books for CAT, but that worked out for me well in the end, because if you look at these online forums and everything, so people post a lot of questions, so you get the variety there, and the more variety you explore in CAT, the more confidence you get, because you already feel that, okay, I know this, I know how to solve this type of question. The more you explore, the tougher it is to surprise you on the final day. So that is the aim behind all the practice which you give. So I think during my whole preparation for CAT 2019, I gave exactly 50 mocks. Okay. And this number I had in mind even before I started preparing. I have to give these many mocks to make sure that my performance or my preparation is up to the mark on that day. And thankfully it helped out. It helped me out, and on the last day it worked out also. But these preparation time along with the job, it did not come very easy though, because thankfully every day my job is started at 9 a.m. and ended at 6:30 p.m. So I got enough time to prepare for CAT. And what happened? So majorly during my preparation, what I used to do, let us say I started giving mocks in the month of May, and I gave mocks till November. So I started off by giving one mock every weekend. So that part was easy. You get 3 hours free on a weekend, you sit for 3 hours continuously and give a mock. And I used to analyze them in weekdays. So that is how my preparation started. Eventually I increased the frequency of mocks. I started giving mocks in weekdays also. So I would come back from office, I will give a mock at night, and then another which I will analyze in the next few days, and then I will give another mock on weekend and analyze that in the weekdays. So I used to give sectionals in lunch hours sometimes, or used to analyze my mocks if I had free time in office, and that's how I code with both my office and my CAT preparation. And towards the end, I think I took a leave of 2 weeks. 2 weeks before CAT, I took a leave, and that is when I started giving a lot of mocks. Like in the last 20 days of CAT, I would have given around 15 mocks. So that being in practice thing helped me out a lot, because by the end of it, I had a definite strategy in mind that this is how I want to approach my paper. So I think that is specific person to person, ki how you want to approach your paper. That is actually the main motive also behind giving so many mocks, so that you are accustomed to every kind of paper, because no two paper can be very much similar. You will always find that, okay, in this paper this section was tougher. Suppose VRC is much tougher in this section, but QA was easier. Some papers And during the course of giving these mocks, you will find that there are many mocks like that where all three sections are extremely tough, and those papers you won't be scoring high. I mean, maybe some people do, I didn't. And because it's a long journey, okay, you start preparing 6 months ago, you give 50 mocks. I used to keep a track of all my mock scores. What I used to do, for every 5 mock I will take out the average of my score, and I will maintain a record कि ठीक है 1 to 5 mocks में my average is this, 6 to 10 my average is this. And basically my aim was that eventually with time my average should go up, so that I know कि I am preparing in the right way and I am in the best phase of my preparation before my CAT final day. Surprisingly and saddeningly also, that didn't happen. ठीक है, in the initial phases, suppose mock 1 to 5, my average score was not very high. ठीक है, mock 6 to 10 was amazing. I was scoring very good marks in SimCats and AIMCats, and I was like, fine, my preparation is already very much up to the mark. Maybe in the next 40 mocks that I'm going to give, I will be scoring amazing marks. And then I fell off the cliff. I started scoring way behind, like, suppose I'm scoring 140, 150 in mock 6 to 10. Now I'm scoring 120, 130 in mocks, let us say 25 to 30. So these dips in performance kept coming throughout the journey, and I was actually a bit unsure during these phases that whether am I preparing in the right way? Am I missing something? Is it that I mean, I felt that I have given so many mocks, like I have given 30 mocks and still I'm scoring below what I used to score earlier. So, like, it's like I'm degrading, not upgrading. So, there was always this fear that maybe I'm not doing the right thing. But as I now think that there is no fixed formula for it. You cannot exactly pre-plan your prep. That is what I understood from my experience, because so it is not always the person's fault. Always the mocks are also designed like that. So for most of the companies which put up these mock series, they will start off with a few easy mocks, then they will make it tougher, and towards then you get just used to it. So that is the main reason behind if you face inconsistencies in your marks. And also, while giving any mock, the phase of mind you are in, I felt it's very important, because sometimes I have given mock like in every situation imaginable. I have woken up at 9 a.m. in the morning and given a mock from 10 to 1, let us say. I have given a mock over a course of 2 days also. There have been times where I have not been able to get time for 3 hours a day continuously. So I have given like 2 sections. I will give on one day, and the next section I will give on another day. I have given mock in half sleep, and I've taken my toughest mock. So I was doing most of this knowingly also, because I wanted myself to be prepared for even the worst imaginable situation, because the CAT day is not completely under your control. It can go anyway. I mean, you can have an average good day, you can have an amazing day, and you can have a very bad day also. And that is something which is maybe not completely under your control. So of course, I cannot eliminate all the variables, but I tried my best. I am prepared well for every situation that I might face on that day. Okay. That was my aim from the beginning. And I think over the last phase, thankfully, my let us say my good phase came, and towards the month of November 24th was CAT 2019, and I was scoring pretty well in my mocks in the November wala phase, in which I think I gave around 15 mocks in November itself. So my mock scores earlier, I started off by scoring like in terms of percentile, if I say 98 percentile plus, 99 percentile plus in mocks. It dipped to 94, 95 percentile also many times. But in the last phase, it was pretty good. Though there are always exceptions. Like I remember in one of my last SimCats, I scored less than 90 percentile. So that was like a shock. Even on my worst day, it should not be this bad. But these things happen to people, and I have I myself have been a bit depressed by these things, and I have seen my friends also ki these things affect you a lot. So it is very important that you get out of that depressed phase if you face it, and try ki theek hai, this happens. Maybe I can learn something good out of it and use it in my next mock. And every mock that I gave, I tried to learn something new from it. Okay. So the mock analysis was very important for me, therefore, and gladly it just worked out in the end.
So can you mentioned that preparation strategy is one aspect of it, right? Analyzing your mocks also shows how strong and weak you are in sections.
That is very true. Yes.
How important do you think the analysis phase is, and what exactly would you do when you were analyzing a mock? Would you look at the percentile, or would you look at the score? What were things that you looked at?
Okay, so first thing after giving every mock is you look at the score. That is very natural. You always compare yourself to others. You look at your percentile. You give a mock, you wait 4 days for the result, and you are like, okay, I scored this much, I got this much rank, or maybe I got this much percentile. You can be happy about it, you can be sad about it, but your mock is of no use, absolutely no use, if you are not analyzing it in a correct manner. So I won't say that I used to analyze my mocks in a very amazing manner, that I would reattempt every question and everything. But in my belief, the ideal way to analyze your mock is, suppose let us pick VARC. Okay, so in VARC, if you are analyzing your mock, you have to read the paragraph again. You look at all your mistakes. In VARC, I used to attempt very high in VARC. Like if there are 34 questions, I will always attempt 30 plus questions in VARC because my reading speed was good, no other reason. So if you are analyzing, you read the paragraph again, you look at your answers, and you have to understand what was the reason behind you getting that answer wrong. And sometimes it is also important that you check and you verify that the reason you thought was the reason why that the answer you chose was correct also matches the reason given. Sometimes you are a bit lucky also in these mocks that, okay, I thought this was the reason, so I picked B. Answer was B, that is fine, you got +3. But maybe the reasoning behind it was something different than what you thought. So it is very important that you, until you are analyzing your answers, you won't realize this. Okay, so you will have a fake sense of entitlement, ki no, I can do this anytime, I get it right. But maybe you were just lucky. So it is very important that you analyze it very carefully. In LRDI, if you are analyzing your LRDI, reattempt the questions. That is the way to go about it. Okay, take your time. In LRDI, you get only 60 minutes. I think most people will agree that you cannot attempt 8 sets. Like some people do, hats off to them, but most people don't. It's not possible. People are very happy if they are even able to attempt 4 sets correctly in LRDI. I was happy if in any mock I attempted 16 questions and I got 16 of them right. This was not always the case, but if it happened anytime, I was very happy. So it is very important that if you are attempting 4 sets in that 1 hour, you attempt the next 4 sets again after the mock. Okay, because it is very important you take out something new from every mock you give. And until unless you are analyzing it carefully, until unless you are looking at your mistakes, I used to do so many silly mistakes. You won't believe the amount of silly mistakes I have done in my mock preparation. Like I have done simple addition mistakes, I have done mistakes like 5 square is 125. I mean, people will laugh at it. How did you get such high percentile in QA with mistakes like these? But these mistakes happen, and it used to happen a lot with me. Like in every mock that I have analyzed, I have realized that I could have maybe gotten 10 marks extra only if I did not do any silly mistakes. That is very common, and with practice, maybe you can eliminate a few of those mistakes, but I always found it very tough to eliminate them completely. So in LRDI also it can happen. Silly mistakes happen in LRDI also. Though usually in LRDI people will argue that once you solve a set in LRDI, suppose there is an arrangement question, you arrange everything perfectly, you get the next 4 questions correct. That happens. But still there is scope for mistake there, and it is very important you analyze that part carefully. Now QA was my favorite analysis because, as I said, I was focusing more on QA. I wanted to take my QA to a very good level than what I was at initially. And QA mein my mistakes were like amazing. You will laugh at them if I tell you all of them. But regardless of the fact, QA mein it is very important कि people think कि just a CAT paper is very easy. You just have to know the shortcuts and the formula. It is not like that. At least I never found it like that. Of course, you have to know your basics, you have to know your formulae, but it is not that ki if you know 20 shortcuts, you are going to do amazing in your paper. And people who have this misconception in their mind, they usually face the brunt of it in the final day. So it is very important that you understand the basics, because even the paper setters who have been setting these papers for years now, they know these shortcuts. And they know कि if an average person takes 2 minutes to solve this question, a person who will know the shortcut will solve it in maybe 30 seconds. So they won't make such questions in which you can directly use the shortcut. Maybe they will modify it somewhere, and that is where people get trapped. Because you are thinking, okay, I know the shortcut, I know the exact formula for this, so I can get to the answer in like 30 seconds. But maybe there is a trick in that question, and because of that trick, you will either get that question wrong or you won't be able to solve it at all because you don't know the basics. So it is very important to understand your basics, and analyzing these mocks help you develop those basics also, because people have this thought process ki no, first I will read everything, first I will complete the whole syllabus, then I will start giving mocks. No, when you start preparing, start giving mock so that you can track your preparation. Because solving those 34 questions without a time limit might be an easy job, but solving those questions, even solving 20 questions of those 34 in 1 hour, is not something which is very easy all the time. So I believe कि yes, always analyze your mocks, analyze your mistakes very carefully, and make sure that if you are getting one particular sort of question wrong one time, you never get it wrong again.
Right. So Kislay, you attempted the CAT 3 times, right?
Yes.
And you got it right on your third attempt.
Yes.
What was it that you did differently this time?
So of course, for every CAT, so I will count out my first CAT attempt because I took it just like that. Okay, I will attempt CAT, I will look at the paper and get a feel of it. In my second attempt, I prepared for the CAT. I got my basics done. I gave like 10-15 mocks and everything. It didn't work out. So in CAT 2019, my main difference what I did was first of all I took a lot of mocks, and the other thing was the varied practice I got. So like I joined a couple of online platforms like iQuanta. I joined the iQuanta course, and it helped me a lot because when you prepare at such platforms, you find like, okay, there are 200 people along with me who are preparing for the same thing. They have the same goal like me, and it inspires you basically, because it's very common that people get disheartened and stop preparing. So platforms like these, like iQuanta, really helped me in that. It really helped me push my quant scores on the final day also, because on these platforms, all type of people post their questions, so you get a whole bunch of it. And once you look at those questions, once you look at others answering them, you are also like, no, I should have answered this, I should have known how to answer this. And that sort of inspires you to work harder, to read the correct things, to increase your knowledge base and everything. So I think that is how it helped me out a lot, this online coaching, and maybe that is what made all the difference in the end also.
Right. Finally, Kislay, some words of wisdom to upcoming aspirants. What do you think they should be doing right now?
So I think for anyone who is a CAT aspirant, whether you are aiming for CAT 2020 or beyond, start with getting your basics right, give a lot of mocks, and please don't get disheartened, because I've seen it happen to so many people, and maybe they had a bad CAT, previous attempt was bad or something, and they are like, how will I do it all again? But I just think it's worth it doing it again, and you have to form a strong emotional base also, because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. For some people it's a sprint. Those are exceptional cases. You will find people who maybe give 5 mocks and then they score 99.8 plus in CAT, and there will always be people like that. But normal people need to work harder, and they need to keep their focus right. if you are focusing on CAT, get your preparation done, because on that day you can't control what kind of day it is. It is very important. If there are 3 sectionals, all your 3 sections should be strong. You cannot go with ki, okay, my QA is strong, so I will make up for it with a weak VARC also. That might work out, but it might not always work out like that, since you cannot control the paper on that day. So it is very important ki you prepare for every section, you give equal importance to every section, because I think that is also what made the difference for me. No particular section was extremely strong, so I got like just very good scores in all the sections, but not exceptionally high in any section. So I think that's the way for anyone preparing for CAT.
All right. Thank you so much, Kisle. And before I let you off, we have a fun rapid fire round for you.
Okay.
I'll ask you a few simple questions and you can tell me what you feel about them. Right?
Okay.
If you could be invisible for one day, what's the first thing you'd do?
I would enter the White House, I think. I really
Okay.
want to go there.
Okay. If you could spend a day with one politician anywhere in the world, who would
Okay.
it be and why?
Narendra Modi.
And why is that?
I want to ask him those questions.
All right. What's your dream MBA college?
IMA.
Your celebrity crush?
Right now, Deepika Padukone, I think.
Okay. All right. That's about it, Kisle.
Okay.
And for the time you spent with us, we have a token of appreciation for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.